All right, we're live, and you're not
We're
in your
live.
yard.
No, we're not. There's no garden today. No garden today. Just the craft closet. The craft closet behind me. Welcome to another after the show, after the sip. Recapping our CMO coffee talks this morning, all about Latin influencer marketing. And boy,
Influencer
if you
marketing.
if you judging by the poll that we kind of did informally, pretty interesting to see how people judge themselves.
Yeah, so we started out, folks, with a poll just to get a pulse on how we rate ourselves at influencer marketing. And across, I don't know, about 100 CMOs, 3% think that they're crushing it. They've got it down. What was it? 40 some percent kind of doing a few things, not too sure.
Right.
And then the balance just getting started. So
Yeah.
opportunity knocks, right? For
Well,
influencer marketing.
I also thought it was interesting that some of the people that rated themselves so low were actually doing some interesting things. I mean, we had Tyler from Vidyard gave himself, I think, a 2.4, and he's actually
Yeah,
then
he's just
proceeded to
being
lay out a whole bunch
humble.
of really good stuff that he and his team are doing. So, I mean, I think we all perceive ourselves as doing worse than we are. We all perceive everyone else as farther out than they are. But we did also get to hear from some people that are doing some really great programs from Adobe and from SAP, and there were definitely some consistent best practices that came out. And I like the fact that a lot of them are, not only leaning in on this opportunity to create a highly efficient, very cost-effective way of driving, awareness, but also tying it back to pipeline, like finding ways to say we're engaging influencers, but we're attaching that content and we're attaching those engagements to activities in CRM, in Marketo. And they're actually, there's some of them have a dashboard that is showing them the influence of their influencer program on
Yeah,
pipeline.
Amisha's going to post her dashboard in the hub and also some guidelines that she's created for influencers. So definitely look out for that.
Absolutely. I
What
thought
what did you take away, Matt? Top
well, I mean, in addition to there
I'm
being just a ton of opportunity, in addition to there just being a lot of opportunity for people, I think that, I like that there's a growing trend towards measuring the impact on pipeline. I like that. I like the idea of having sort of segmenting some of your influencers by community, your external influencers, your customer influencers and the advocates, people in your partner program. I thought that was really smart. A lot of companies really doing a nice job of tying influencer in with their content strategy and working with influencers to create and co-create and amplify content strategy. And the last thing I think for me was just the idea that a lot of people don't think they're doing much. Like step number one is like build the list and just start giving love to the list, right? I mean, whoever you think your influencers are, don't ask anything of them. Retweet them, like their content. I mean, amplify their content. Even if you don't have a big audience, they will see that. And if they see that over a period of time consistently, they will assume you're someone that appreciates their work. So when you do eventually come and say, "Hey, we should do something together," it's not cold. You're a known entity at that point.
Yeah, I took away a couple things. One, I loved Tyler talking about how just now with every campaign that they run in the campaign brief, they have what's the influencer strategy, right? Because we're running campaigns all the time, we're creating content, and what's that one extra step to think about the influencer angle? I thought that was awesome, just a way to get it going. I also liked in your influencer strategy, there's sort of two goals. There's one goal that's reach. So is this influencer going to help you broaden your reach more, kind of think top of funnel? And Daryl did a good job of laying out different phases of the funnel and how to use influencers. And then the second key place to use influencers is for credibility. Yeah. So that would be more academics and things like that who might not have a big reach, but will bring credibility kind of later stage. So I thought that was really an awesome way to think about it. And then the other topic that I liked that we talked about, especially on the East Coast call, was you want to attract influencers, be an influencer or have an influencer. Mm-hmm. So how do you create influencers within your company, which is not an easy thing to do, and sort of tips on how to get them posting, tips on getting them content, tips on getting them a platform, all things to think about.
Well, and so Tyler Lesser, who joined us, he runs marketing at Vidyard. he's done a really nice job of building a consistent influencer program over time. He himself has invested in creating content and in connecting with other people. He's done it in a very authentic way. He's been using video longer than most of us have. But he himself is one of the Marketo Fearless 50. I mean, he had like a 40-foot picture of his head on Moscone Center a couple of years ago that apparently got lost in the mail. I want to see that on the side of his house, or at least the building they're in or something. But then we also talked about like who can be an influencer in your organization, and you need someone that wants to do it, someone that's going to be authentic about it, someone that's going to do it consistently, not start it for a couple of days and stop for 2 months. Sometimes we've seen examples of BDRs playing this role. We've seen people in all
look at Beck Holland.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People, and sometimes, your sales engineers, people on your product team, people that are passionate and people that are willing to lean in and just have an authentic conversation with others. That works a lot. We also, and he talked about some of the tools people are using to find lists, to help build their lists, to engage with their influencers. Tools like Tracker was talked about quite a bit. Tracker Sprout with Social. 2 A's and no E. Sprinkler, which, one of my favorite, this date me in Martech. Littlebird was one of my favorite influencer tools back in the day. They were bought by Sprinkler, so Sprinkler does some good work. Someone mentioned Spark Toro, Spark Toro as a tool to find, and other people just said, even like Anisha from SAP's just said Google searches, which is really good best practice.
Yes. Well, I think we had another jam-packed session, and I learned a lot. I am inspired to go do better with influencer marketing. So thanks to all our CMOs for joining, and Thanks to our special guests, and we'll see you next week.